So in 2016, I graduated architecture school at Yale University with a master's and master's of architecture. And at the time, I decided that I did not want to work in corporate architecture firms any longer. I had interned in really amazing firms like Pelly Clark Pelly, working on skyscrapers in the West, and felt like there was really not much of a sense of purpose, even though the buildings were beautiful to work on. And I was really grateful to be practicing in such an amazing firm. I felt like the relationship to land was missing. My relationship to Palestine was something that I was thinking very deeply about, especially at the time where politics in the US were changing very quickly. And so I just decided to move back home for the first time since I was 13. I moved back to Ramallah and worked for an architecture firm called Riwaq, which is really a conservation NGO that deals with historic villages in Palestine and thinks about reconstructing them and renovating them and guaranteeing that they maintain presence and people, continuing to care for them. And so one of the villages that I was working on is called Jaba, which is the biblical village of Gibron that you can see in this image here. And one of the days I was there, I was meeting with the families that still have properties in the old historic town that no longer live there because there's no infrastructure, you don't have electricity and water anymore. So they build kind of in the periphery of the village, new construction, concrete blocks and so on. And I went to visit one of the families, the Twam family, and it turns out they had a glass workshop in their house and they had an oxygen tank, gas tank, and a flame kind of going, lighting very brightly in there on their desks. And I was blown away literally by their ability to make these intricate forms. They were making beakers, very precise work for the chemistry lab at the Birzeit University science department, which is the university in Ramallah. And they had never really worked with a designer before. And on the spot, we just started playing, making funky things. And little did I know that the history of glass in Palestine is incredibly deep and goes back multiple generations. It took me a couple of years to really understand the relationship of the history of glass to Palestine, but it really started on this day in this small town between Ramallah and Jerusalem. And that's how everything kind of started. This is the family, the Twam family. They are multi-generational. There are four generations working in the shop at the same time. This is a drone image of the neighborhood that they work in. The little boy on the left is Muhammad Twam, the youngest of the generation. He's his job is to cut glass pipes and deliver things from the shop to the family. He, obviously he's not really working. He's just learning from a very young age and kind of witnessing after he comes home from school what it means to be in a glass shop. And then we have Ali Twam on the right, who is one of the cousins of the family. But really the godfather of the family is Abu Marwan Twam, who at this point we've been working together for 7 years on multiple collections. And I wanted to start with them also because this is where the core of the work comes from. I wouldn't be able to do it without their skill, and they've been doing this for multiple generations at this point.
Thanks for checking out this GEEX Shorts episode. This is just one of 10 chapters featuring the speaker's artwork, artistic practice, and direct conversations with the community. The full-length video, only publicly available for a limited time, can be found in the GEEX Talks subscriber archive, where you can also discover hours of content on even more contemporary glass artists and researchers. As a BIPOC and artist-led organization, GEEX redefines the culture of contemporary glass by canonizing artists and thinkers who have been historically marginalized in the field. If you'd like to support this effort, subscribe to GEEX and gain access to exclusive content. For more info, visit geeks.glass/support. Thanks to this episode's sponsors, listed on screen and in the video description below.